To get started, you want to thread your cords onto your button. So I've taken the short ones and threaded them on first, so the longest part is at the top, and then I've got a shorter part at the bottom for each cord, which is just long enough to attach to the board, and it has to fit around the wrist. So once you've threaded your shortest cords, you want to also thread on your longest cords. So I've done one at each side, and for these ones I've pulled them out equally at both sides. And once you've threaded on all your cords, you want to take your button and clip it to the top of your board, and then you can put your cords in order. So once you arrange your cords in order, you should end up with two sections like this. So on the outside of this section, you should have your shortest cord. Your longest end will be on the outside, and then your shortest cord next to it. And then on the other side, again on the outside, you will have your shortest cord with the longest end on the outside and the shortest one next to it. And then next to those, in the centre, you will have your two longest cords. So this is going to be worked as a 2-row repeat pattern. So I'm going to start at this side. So to begin, you want to put your 2 cords on the outside free, and then take your 2 cords in the centre and clip those to the bottom of the board. And then you want to work a square knot with these 2 cords over the cords in the centre. So you want to go over, 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 and then through. And then under, under, and through. And then once you've done this side, you want to do the same thing at the other side. So take your 2 cords in the centre and clip those to the bottom of the board. And then you want to take your 2 outside cords and do a square knot by going over, over, and through. And then under, under, and through. And for your second row, you want to take your 2 outside cords at both sides and put these out of the way. And then you want to take the 2 cords that you're left with in the centre and clip these to the bottom of the board. And then you want to do a square knot with the 2 cords at either side. So again, you're going over, over, and through. And then under, under, and through. And these are the 2 rows that you're going to repeat all the way down until you've got the bracelet as long as you want it to be. So once you've done your row 2, you want to go back and do what you did on row 1. So put one section out of the way, and then take your 4 cords at one side, and then clip the centre cords to the bottom of the board and do your square knot. And then do the exact same thing at the other side. And for your second row, again, moving your 2 cords at the outside out of the way, and then just working the 4 cords in the centre. You're going to take your 2 centre cords, clip them to the bottom of the board, and then do your square knot. You just want to keep doing this all the way down. So once you've got the bracelet as long as you want it, and I like to finish on row 2 because I think it makes it look a little bit neater, you want to remove your clip from the bottom, and then you want to separate your sections into 2. So for your first section, you want to take the outside cord and put it to one side, and then take the rest of this section and clip it to the bottom of the board. So now you're going to be making your buttonhole. So to do that, I want to take the outside cord and I want to go over and through, and then under and through. So how many knots you do for this will depend on the size of your button, so it's a good idea to measure as you go along. And we want to do the same thing at the other side, but a mirror image. So once you've done the knots at both sides, you should have something that looks like this. So now you can unclip this side from the bottom of the board, and you want to take all your cords from the centre and leave the two outside ones free, and clip the ones in the centre back to the bottom of the board. And then you want to do a few square knots just to fasten together your buttonhole. So once you're happy that your bracelet is nice and secure, you can remove it from the board, and then you want to trim and seal any excess. So I'm going to use a lighter to seal here, but you could use glue if you prefer. And once you've finished, you should end up with something that looks like this. And that is your completed contrast stripe macrame bracelet.